Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. So we are back, and we're specifically going to take a look at the state of North Carolina, a state that now has voted for Donald Trump 3 times in 3 consecutive elections. So let's go ahead and get started. So Donald Trump improved pretty well his performance in the state of North Carolina compared to, of course, the last 2 other runs where he was actually predicted to lose. Now, was he actually predicted to lose in this election? Well, it's disputed. You'll see Donald Trump was predicted to win by 1.2. So you cannot say he was predicted to lose. But then again, Kamala Harris and Democrats did pretty well in this said swing state. Even though, this state hasn't really voted for Democrats since 2008. But going back to the board here, you'll see 2016, as I clearly pointed out. Well, actually, they don't have the polls because they're just so embarrassed. Okay, but they have predictions here. You got electoral.com, along with Rothenberg Political Report, Sabuta's Crystal Ball. They're all saying that, you know what, North Carolina's going Democrat. But did it go Democrat in 2016? No, it didn't. If you guys know history, it absolutely did not. 2020, they made the same accusation. In fact, more said polls and predictions in 2016 said, you know what, North Carolina is going to go to Joe Biden. Did that happen? No. In fact, Donald Trump was actually losing in the aggregate, in the average, 0.6% of a lead for Joe Biden, and you'll see he was winning the majority of polls. So you would think, if you were a logical thinker, you would be like, with these polls being within the margin of error. Well, this poll wasn't in the margin of error. What are we talking about? Error. I said era, but error. But yeah, you'll see Donald, like Atlas Intel was continuously spot on. 2-point win for Donald Trump, but ultimately, the election was just too close, and of course, it wasn't a 2-point win for Donald Trump, almost, but he went over a 0.3 a 1.3 margin, which was amazing. Now the game has totally shifted in 2024. Donald Trump won North Carolina by a margin less than, I want to be between 4 and 3. It was a pretty big victory for, of course, Donald Trump in North Carolina. Oh, well, it was his regardless. Well, let's see how he performed in the black belt compared to a couple years. This is 2020, and here is 2020, and here's 2024. You'll see there's a huge change. These counties up in the black belt, these African American counties, they have totally changed color. They're more lighter blue, which is very, of course, it does display clearly that the political shift and the political realignment in the state is growing. You'll see this county got a little bit more redder. Although this county right here got bluer, and this could be a reason why Kamala Harris overall was really, really predicted to do very well in the state. You'll see, out of everything, that probably was the only county she probably did very well in. That county is going to be called, it's Buncombe County. Buncombe, and that is a key county to win. I mean, let's be honest. It has Asheville, 269,000 voters, and you would go ahead and say, yep, that is because of the suburban woman. We can agree that suburban woman was probably the reason why, of course, Trump did so bad there. You'll see maybe suburban woman was probably the all that suburban woman and all those rallies was over here. So yeah, I would be honest in telling you, Yeah, Kamala Harris did very well in Buncombe County. It's actually the very first county we actually pointed at and said, you know what, we didn't do Kamala Harris actually did very good there. As for let's just say Wilmington. Let's take a look at Wilmington. How Wilmington, North Carolina, vote, because Wilmington is in New Hanover County. It's right here, and it voted Democratic for the second time. Wilmington in New Hanover County have been labeled as, of course, vulnerable counties, but for historically, it used to be Republican strongholds. New Hanover, as you know, New Hanover County is politically competitive. It favored Republican presidential candidates every election between 1968 and 2016, except in 1976, with county favoring Democrat Joe Biden in 2020. I think, yes, except in 1976, and we can say, you know what, that was because of the Southern wave. As you know, that was because of your friend Jimmy Carter. And then again, North Carolina did a very good job voting. Well, actually, to be honest, 1968 to 2008 voted Republican, except 1976. It did jump vote for the Democrats because of Jimmy Carter. I mean, he's from Georgia, such and such. But you'll see it had a very competitive streak for Republicans in that said county. The county has also favored Democratic U.S. Senate candidates in recent elections, though Republicans still tend to perform better in local contests. Examples being the Supreme Court elections. You'll see New Hanover County voted in 2022 for every Republican, but as of right now, it looks like New Hanover seems to be more Republican, more Democrat, despite a good and decent performance in, of course, North Carolina. Here, are we done counting in North Carolina? Because a lot of people are like, we are done counting in North Carolina. They had projected overall that Buncombe County would go to Kamala Harris by 61%. It's a sad performance, and it was part of the bitterness. I mean, let's be honest. The worst, the dark spot for Republicans would be that one county in North Carolina. You could go ahead and say the governor's race in North Carolina, which I think we should have done way more better in, was even worse. But being completely honest here, Buncombe County, yeah. Let's see, nothing really changes with new. So yeah, the counties are shifting colors. You'll see these counties right here. This county is actually very Native American county, and it voted 60% for Donald Trump. It's rural. That didn't really help him population-wise, but it explained the shift on where Native Americans are going in North Carolina. So, yeah. Out of everything, though, I think what really helped Buncombe County prevent Buncombe County from steering the wheel and steering the knob in favor for Democrats overall would probably be because of the counties like this county right here, and although they're very unpopulated, I get it. Well, they have a population to an extent, but I think to a point, New Hanover County helped because, let's see, Joe Biden, I want to believe, won that county by 2. We lost that county this year by barely a point. So I think that population of 500,000, I want to believe, really came out and let's see. I can't just say it's 500,000. Okay, I was very wrong. 225,000. Yeah, I would say that population of 225,000 individuals would very much well help Donald Trump. I mean, they were split up. You'll see Donald Trump gained 66,000 votes, or close to that number, in 2024 Democrats, 67,000. Although maybe the third parties, I mean, you can't really, I mean, the third parties in North Carolina, third parties, they tend to be left-leaning. I mean, a lot of them could have voted for RFK, who has withdrawn, by the way. I'm just saying, in case you haven't noticed. They could have still voted for him. I mean, that is a possibility. But likely, a lot of those third parties, North Carolina, let's just be honest, how North Carolina voted in the primaries for Democrats. You'll see a little deja vu here. For Joe Biden, uncommitted got a lot of attention. Yeah, it got a lot of attention. You'll see 12.73%. Okay, 12.73%, 88,000. So 88,000, I'm guessing, obviously didn't go and vote for a third party. But it did show the move and the momentum of. It did show the momentum and the movement of people that would be willing to go out and vote in the primary against the incumbent party. Now, I get it. Joe Biden, he's not in the race anymore. They'll keep reminding me. But then again, a lot of people, not just Republicans, but even pro-Palestine individuals will also claim that there's nothing real different than, of course, the Biden administration as a whole. And Biden and Harris as a whole, and that Harris had a lot to do with the so-called genocide in Gaza. That's what they will go ahead and make their argument on. I'm not going to disagree on that, because what they're trying to prove is they're basically agreeing with us, saying, hey, you know what? I mean, Kamala Harris is no different than Joe Biden. Joe Biden didn't act alone, and that's what we've been trying to say in this channel for a long time. So I'm glad my words are finally reaching out to some folks. I also noticed that this county right here, Durham County, it's now more lighter, actually. It's more lighter. Instead of voting 80%, for Democrats, it's now 70% for Democrats. I mean, beg my pardon. Yes, it's 70%. I was getting confused with other lighter colors, but yes. Well, anyway, before we end this long video, let's go ahead and say what we were wrong about. We basically overestimated Harris again. I mean, all you liberal trolls that say we're so right-wing and that we're so in denial, look at what we're doing right now. We are giving Harris so many communities, so many counties. We actually said that Wisconsin and Michigan would go to her. Did it go to her? No. And no, I'm sorry, we didn't do it because of your appeasement. If you are angry that we're giving Donald Trump too much that you want, then you can kick rocks. Kick rocks. Because this is my analysis. And this is what I think, in my opinion, it's going to look like. You can make fun of me about it, but really you're just making a fool out of yourself. You're making a fool out of yourself. And you wouldn't dare to do this with Alan Lichtman, even though Alan Lichtman was just so bad at this election altogether. He is the number one person you should be making fun of, because he decided to go and point and put emotion into his keys. Oh, Trump and his comments. That's going to give Harris so much energy. Well, no, Trump has been in the spotlight since the 70s. So people know who Trump is and his personality. People are okay with Trump. People don't know who Harris is. And I think you should put recognition in as a key. But Alan Lichtman is just so biased and Trump deranged, he won't even do that. But I just thought I would add that in because I was thinking about adding that in later on. So we were wrong about, I believe this is like Polk County. Yes, this county right here. No, nope, that's Nash County. Nash County, we were wrong about that. Went back to Trump. We were wrong about this county right here. We're just going to call it Pash County. Pashwatak. Pashwatak has always been Democrat, and actually, first time voting Republican since 1988. We were wrong about that also. We were looking at Democrat, of course, registration and ancestral Democrats. We, of course, were wrong there. All right, what else? I think that was legitimately it. Otherwise, oh yeah, we were wrong about this county right here. That county took me by surprise. I actually thought it was kind of going to go to Democrats. That is called Anson County. Anson County, a part of the Black Belt. Very long line for Republicans. First time voting Republican since 1972. That's insane. And I think this is the second time. The second time that this county voted Republican. Yeah, there's no way. Absolutely no way. The second time the county voted Republican in its history. You could go ahead and let's go ahead and look at going all the way back to the 1870s during Reconstruction, where the state results were very wonky. Oh yeah, never mind. I was wrong, because Ulysses S. Grant carried that county. No, not Anson County. Confederate. Okay, yeah, this is the Confederate presidential election. That doesn't really count. This doesn't really count either. So, well, yeah, it wasn't the first time voting Republican. It was the third time, though. It was the third time voting Republican in the state's history. So that's a good celebration, an acknowledgement to celebrate. So this is pretty much the 2024 results. So we were wrong about 3 counties that we thought would go to Harris. It didn't go to Harris. And really, a lot of people go, oh, you should have went and said that you should have proved the knob theory, where the results trend the other direction if they barely go to the other candidate or the opposite party in power. Well, guess what? That works in works in states. Works in states. Counties, not so much. It's hard to predict with counties, okay? Especially when polls are telling you that the state is going in one direction. It's going to be a very close race. You would think, to a certain degree, Trump isn't going to reflip some counties that were like in the light blue. Like my cursor's on Nash County right now, basically saying, he ended up flipping that county. He was lucky, and I think he had a good chance of flipping. But obviously, the polls were telling us that it's the morning. Pashwatak and Anson would go for said Kamala Harris. It didn't, thankfully. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to our video? Let me know down below. And as always, I will see you all in the next political episode.